What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today. I'm your host JNO, welcome to the channel and welcome back to What We Learned, where we look back at the last game week and see what we can learn going into game week 25 to maximise our FPL points. But before we get into this episode, if you love FPL content, please consider subscribing to the channel. We do at least one video every week and we do live streams as well, where we've got a great community that we call the Flock, so come and join the community, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we're live. So let's get into the games, and we start off with the Arsenal versus Crystal Palace game, which ended up 4-1, which saw Arsenal manage to do very well without the now moved to Manchester United Alexis Sanchez, as Henrik Mkhitaryan has gone to Arsenal in a swap deal. So it'll be very interesting in FPL to see how that transfer does affect things in both sides. And what this does is it creates opportunity for some of the younger and cheaper FPL options to make a claim for a starting place and potentially keep their place in the side in Alexis Sanchez's absence. However, there's rumours of Aubameyang coming in, and of course with Mkhitaryan coming in, is there actually going to be any places for the likes of Iwobi to fight their way into? That is a debatable subject. However, it took Arsenal only 5 minutes to get into the lead in this one, as a Xhaka cross was whipped into the back post and Monreal, who lost his defender, managed to burst into the box and get a free header in on goal and make the game 1-0. The second also came from Monreal breaking free down the left, and in this game Monreal looked like a great attacking option as he got down the left and found Iwobi in the box, who managed to tap it home very easily. And to be honest, Iwobi looked very dangerous in the first 10 minutes and for the majority of the game actually. So Iwobi, if you can keep a place in the side, does look like a good and cheap option. And then another cross to the back post is volleyed back in by Monreal. Another assist for Monreal, and Koscielny managed to score the third in under 13 minutes. And then on the 22nd, another goal for Arsenal, as a typical Arsenal build-up results in a beautiful flick back by Özil so that Lacazette could finish into the bottom far corner. Crystal Palace did show some fight in the game after that though, and they did actually manage to get a consolation goal as well. I can't say the player's name, Milivojevic or something like that. He was the one that managed to get a consolation goal for Crystal Palace. But the likes of Sakho looked dangerous in this game as well. Benteke continued his bad form, so I would definitely not look at Benteke. But from this game, Özil, Iwobi and Lacazette showed signs of a potential awesome partnership. However, that's most likely going to be disrupted by the transfers coming in. So it's a wait and see with that Arsenal side at the moment. The players that stood out, Monreal was the standout player in this one. 5.6 million, 16 points from a defender, and none of them were clean sheet points, with a goal and 2 assists and 3 bonus points. 34 minutes per chance and 11 minutes per chance created, and considering he went off early, that is a considerable amount of underlying stats and FPL points. And the other one was Koscielny, who also managed to get a goal and 2 bonus points from this game. At 6 million flat, he got 10 points on 1 goal and 2 bonus points, with a chance only in every 90 minutes, meaning he only got 1 chance. So Koscielny didn't have underlying stats to back up his good score, but if you had him, I'm sure you were happy with the total points you got there. We then move on to the Brighton versus Chelsea game, which ended up 4-0 in Chelsea's favour, which means if you had any Chelsea player, you were probably very happy with this result. Batshuayi started with Pedro Morata suspended, and it took Chelsea just 3 minutes to score as Moses drills the ball into the box. It's deflected into the path of Hazard, who took a few steps to trick the defenders and completely wrong foot them, and then scored with his right with power past the keeper. The second goal was 3 minutes later, as a beautiful bit of passing play between Willian, Batshuayi and Hazard resulted in Willian finishing into the near corner with the outside of his foot. Another great finish. Then Brighton at 2-0 down were denied a penalty when Caballero rushed out and took down Scalotto in the box at an important part of the game. It was a clear penalty, but it wasn't given. This may have given Brighton a way back into the game, but it was very unfortunate that they didn't win that penalty. Scalotto then had another appeal turned down. This one was a lot more borderline at best and got a yellow for then arguing with the ref. But Scalotto did look dangerous and looks like he's got some pace and can get behind some defences. Davy Proper then managed to hit the crossbar with a diving header in the second half, Scalotto almost intercepted in the Chelsea third as well to score. However, it would be made 3-0 as Willian played it through for Hazard, who just ran at the Brighton defence. They kept backing off before sending it past 2 defenders and a goalkeeper by completely wrong footing them with his shot. And then the fourth came from a long through ball over the top from Moses to finish with his left. So 4-0, dominant performance by Chelsea here. Hazard was back to his best, but he needs some consistency to be a viable option compared to some of the other heavy hitters in midfield like Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling and Mohamed Salah. Scalotto also looked dangerous in this one, as did Grosh, and with Brighton's fixtures starting to look better now, potentially you could be getting some differential points from those two. The standout performers in the Chelsea game, you have Victor Moses at 6.4 million. He got 17 points from 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 bonus points. He only actually had a chance once in the game and no chances created, however, so his underlying stats doesn't support bringing him in over the likes of Alonso or Azpilicueta, despite the fact that he's cheaper. Eden Hazard at 10.6 got 16 points from 2 goals and 3 bonus points. He had a chance and a chance created every 30 minutes. And then Willian at 6.7 million could be a cheap differential with 12 points on 1 goal and 1 assist and 1 bonus point, with a minute per chance at 20.3 and a minute per chance created at 20. However, you've got to remember Pedro and Morata were both suspended for this game, so that doesn't mean Willian will continue in this role 100%. We then move on to the Man City versus Newcastle game, and there was no doubt in my mind that Aguero was going to score. I just was hoping he wouldn't score a hat-trick or more, and unfortunately for me he did score a hat-trick, and I didn't bring him in early enough. And I kept KANE for the Southampton fixture, which you now know would have been 1-1, and KANE didn't get as nearly as many points as I could have got if I'd gone with Aguero. So I probably made that transfer a game week too late, but that is my own fault, no one else to blame. Manchester City came into this game with defeat against Liverpool still in their minds and a good record against Newcastle. They clearly wanted to get back to winning ways in impressive fashion. Sterling should have put Manchester City up 1-0, but he floated into an offside position. Then also had a left-footed drive shot saved by Darlow. But then City broke the deadlock with Kevin De Bruyne putting the ball into the box, and either it went in just off of Kevin De Bruyne's cross or Aguero got the faintest of touches on a header and it went past Darlow into the far corner. I don't see in the replays I saw what effect Aguero had on the ball, but the replay angles weren't the greatest, so I could be wrong. In the second half, a patient passage of play results in Sterling being brought down in the box, and Aguero took the penalty to get his second. Then against the run of play, a through ball by John Joe Shelby finds Jacob Murphy, who calmly chips it over Edison. And then there were more chances for Manchester City from the likes of Sterling, De Bruyne and more, but it was Sane with a great run with some great skill that finds Aguero in the box, and he puts it home to finish the game, put the final nail in Newcastle's coffin. On the side note, Sanchez going to Manchester United is probably a good thing for us FPL managers, as we don't want the lineup being more unpredictable at that Manchester City side under Pep Guardiola. The standout options in the Manchester City game were Sergio Aguero, of course, 11.8 million, 17 points from 3 goals and 3 bonus points, with a minute per chance at 12.9 and a minute per chance created at 30. He looks like a good option to replace KANE with for KANE's 3 difficult fixtures coming up, if you want to take KANE out of your side. And then Jacob Murphy at 5 million got 9 points from 1 goal and 2 bonus points. He only had a chance a half though, so he's not exactly got the underlying stats to back up his point total. The other performers from the game week, we are looking at Joe Allen at 5.1 million and the Stoke side in general, with a new manager and the Stoke players clearly not wanting relegation. With the type of quality in that side that should be higher up in the table, and they have good fixtures. For those wanting to take a punt, the Stoke teams seem to offer plenty of options. You've got Choupo-Moting, youth, and you've got the likes of Shaqiri and Joe Allen all looking good. Joe Allen didn't have great underlying stats in this game, a chance and a chance created in the 90. However, he did get a goal and 3 bonus points, which means 11 points for 5.1 million, and he looked to be trying his hardest to really perform and get a result for the Stoke side. So Joe Allen could be a good punt at 5.1 million. And then we have Anthony Martial. Burnley came close to getting something from this game, but it was Martial's goal, and Martial looked dangerous in the game. Getting behind the Burnley defence as much as possible, and he got the winning goal, which got him 10 points from 1 goal and 2 bonus points. With a chance every 22.3 minutes and a chance created every 30 minutes at 8 million, he could be a good differential for you, as long as Sanchez isn't coming in to take his place. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. As always, again, apologies if there isn't another episode up. This could be the last episode in this flat as well. So, goodbye to the flat, goodbye to the home of the last year's worth of videos. Unless I do randomly get some videos out tomorrow or schedule them. We shall see. If you want to support the channel in any way, the biggest way you can support me is to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button to share my content out there amongst the masses. There's also various other links. You can become a Patreon of the channel and you can come and support the stream as well. We've got a great bunch of guys, so it'd be great to see you guys there. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game. Who managed to tap it home very easily, and to be honest, Iwobi looked very dangerous in the first 10 minutes, and for the majority of the game actually. Crystal Palace did show some fight in the game after that though, and they did actually manage to get a consolation goal as well. I can't say the player's name, Milivojevic or something like that. Then Brighton at 2-0 down were denied a penalty when Caballero rushed out and took down. And then there were more chances for Manchester City from the likes of Sterling, De Bruyne and more. But it was Sane with a great run with some great skill getting behind the Burnley defence as much as option.